We're the next lost civilization. That's what our civilization is today. We don't have to be, but choices need to be made. We have to change the path.
Hey. I know Cosmo's up. I don't know if Ham's coming on or not. My whole purpose is to catch Ham for you. This is what Ham says. This is what Ham says. Ham's great. He's a real fighter. Got to find it. This is what Ham says here. Root was 20 for one stock, was 25, down to 1. Then they reversed it back to 20 plus. It was almost 30. It is now 493. CEI, COSM, that's your future. You mean I could have gotten a better price for my 4 shares? Yep, 1164, that's good. Yeah, I think stop sensitive, fool's gold today. CI, let's go. Cosmo, what the TD halted. Gamma squeeze. I don't know, guys. I'm going to stop making predictions about it, but 1132 divided by 25. Oh, not divided by. 11.32. Yeah, divided by 25. It's a 45-cent stock. So there was someone this morning, I forget her name now, she wanted 44 cents. So that's nice, getting back, wow, getting back above where it closed yesterday. That's very nice, that's very nice. So everyone, including Alicia, should be happy. Oh, 48 cents, yeah. Cosmo will hit 125 by the end of next week. Rudy Myers. See? Rudy might have some information, knowledge of what could happen. Can't tell if that tree's on or not. That's important to know. CEO, yeah, Matt, it'll be interesting what happens with trading. CEO bought shares of what would be now 125. Alicia can sell. But it's up, Alicia, it's about 45 cents now. Oh, they won't let you sell the original shares. So tomorrow, no. Monday, I guess. There is no knowledge. It's all opinion. Except when I'm talking, it's knowledge. When you're talking, it's opinion. No selling. I know. I got, what did I get? 548 for my 4 shares. And what I sold last week, I got less than what it's trading for now. So just shows I know what I'm doing. Wisdom, truth. So we're going to listen to Ham. And, okay, Don Weeble's calling up. It seems to Robin and TD are locked out. Cosmic, can't even search for it. That is from Matt. Well, at least it's a distraction from other things. GTII is 58.49. CRTD is basically 75 cents, up 0.044. Finger, they just wiped out the calls again, which I feel the pain of. Up 22 cents, 361. And this, what I think was a good idea from Hedge Fund Killer, HNRC, is trading basically 34 cents. So it's kind of down 35 roughly, maybe 40. But the distribution was $1.75, so we'll see what happens. I bought and sold today. Brilliant. Bought at 306, sold at 8 at 12. That's great, Hub 330. That's right, Matt. I think that's right. To get out of here, it's got to go well above 50. But I don't remember the numbers Avid had given before. I just don't remember them. Yeah, you got to do, exactly. You got to divide by 25. Look at the chart. Tomorrow or Monday, the chart should do that for you. Yeah, you can call the broker on the phone. Yeah, we're going to try to quad riching day. Good point. Well, COSM is killing it. We'll listen to Ham today. And I think you have to worry about one day, but Ham tweeted like this. Ham said, R. Will wrote, so the COSM CO said it was done, so they don't get delisted today because it was under $1. If they drive it back down, will it still get delisted? Ham writes, they all say the same thing. He had one other post on it. I'm trying to find it. I'm glad you didn't sell this morning either, Ellie. I'm glad you didn't listen to my move. There's the other thing he said. CEI 50 to 1, COSM 25 to 1. The bloodbath. The naked shorts beat you like a drum. They will just naked short the higher prices. You will be pennies again. The car wash of Fraud Street. See, Matt, that's great that you bought at 19 cents. So now you more than doubled your money. You more than doubled your money. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't sell either. Is CEI running? You can't sell it all. I know, Ellie. Ellie did. Just to let you know, one of my nieces, her name is Eleanor, but she goes by Ellie, and her father calls her Ellie Belly. So we all call her Ellie Belly. But she's getting older now, so I don't think she likes it. But it's a good name. I don't know if Ellie's short for Eleanor, But in her case, I think that's a good name, Eleanor, for Eleanor Roosevelt. Her mother, my sister, admires Eleanor Roosevelt. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm so glad COSM is going up. Should I buy the Trump NFT or buy or COSM? I don't know. I think in both cases, I don't have anything to add. My guess is Eleonora, Bulgarian. Very nice, Eleonora. It could be in an Edgar Allan Poe poem, Eleonora. Cosmos sold at 3, now it's 12. I know, oh God, MH. I sold just now, you saw me at 5 something, but I sold before the split at, I gotta remember, I think it was 28 cents I sold before the split, so. But anyway, guys, we're going to listen to Ham today. I think the stock right here, CRTD first, GTII next. And I think those will, when I say first, I mean going to like 3, 4, 5 range. I don't know which one will squeeze first, but listen to what Ham says. Listen to what the hamster says. Listen to what the mind says. Look at on CRTD. Only 300 million shares to cover and no float. Enjoy being roasted. It's down from 20. A nosebleed when it starts. That's CRTD. This is GTII. My favorite 2-year battle. North of 200 million plus, I stopped counting. A rocket to the stars. Kramers are the crooks. Wes is the lawyers. Upstream, the silver bullet. 1-800 the merger. So don't. It's frustrating, but remember when we got started. And I'm not, when I say it's not about me, but I pointed out that you're not going to get it right. Your trading is not going to get it right. And you just want to get as much as you can. You want to get it while you can. Hey, the Rays in hell. Q trade in Canada. Steve Mertz, somebody just had the idea, maybe call in. Just call in.
Please re-enter.
No, I'm not holding.
If you are the host,
I'm not holding.
Press star now.
But I'm not.
Otherwise, please wait, and you will be joined into the conference.
Somebody just pointed out that it needs to go sort of to the, I think they said 44 range or high 40s and push through 50 cents. That's the pre-split numbers, and that's where you are. So I'm not saying something won't happen. I just think risk reward, the upside in Cosmo is the same as the upside in the near term in GTII and CRTD. And I just feel more comfortable with the downside parameters there. But everybody's got to make their own choice. We'll see if he comes on. I don't know if he's going to come on. Wow, 14. That's really good. I forget the gentleman that said, I forget the gentleman that said 44 cents. It might have been Matt. So 14.45 divided by 25, that's 58 cents. Guys, it's rallying back. So maybe, maybe something's up. This is usually a bad sign that yeah, Matt, yeah. That's pretty nice breakthrough, I think. We'll be able to look at the chart on Monday and get a better feeling. Halted. Maybe there's news today, Matt and Alicia. Maybe there's news. Maybe there's news. I don't think Finger's going to, I don't think Ham's going to give a call today.
Hey guys, can you hear me? I just texted Ham. I asked him if there was going to be a call. He said no. So no call today. But I literally just found out. Apologize for the late notice. No call today. Sounds great. Thanks. Okay. Sorry about that.
No call today. So what does Alicia say? You'll be up. I hope so, Alicia. We don't know why it's halted, but if it's news, news is what can change everything if it's meaningful enough. And maybe they'll have a short squeeze. Wouldn't that be fun? It's now up 78 cents. So it started the day down, 60%. It's now up 78%. So I don't know what that is from the low, but that's a nice move from the low. You can short though, I know. I'm looking to see if there's any news. I'm looking for a feeling. They keep halting it. I wonder why. It's 98 million shares traded. It's 327. I would be surprised that news would be announced at 3:30, but it could happen. Maybe there's just what they call order imbalances. The Grizz. I can't read that out, Grizz. Yeah, it's amazing turnaround. I'm if you could get this wouldn't that be something if this is the one lion that actually squeezes. All right, so it halted at 1525. I don't think shorts would be covering now, but at some price soon it could be. Playing chess, and I might be playing checkers. Irrational exuberance. The shorts could also, I hate to say, the shorts could be allowing it to run up. Like intelligent shorts. Yeah, it's quad witching. That's another point. Oh, there's an ask of 0.07. Ring the bell says. Oh, it's Zip Doctor? That's pretty cool. That might be Edgar, that might be the reason for the halt. They have to change the symbol. Somebody pointed out the new name change, therefore a new QSIP. That could all be it, but it might just that the thing is exploding to the upside. I think the pros are having fun with it. I have it trading 1398, 14, 1405, 1410. Now we're almost to 100 million. 1405, you know. Ask of 250. Moo. Is that a serious brokerage house? Moo. It's a place up over here that sells ice cream called Moo. 1450, 1438 on COSM. There, I like that Silverstream. I sold half prior to the split at 65 cents, which equals 16.25. Sold the rest just now for 14. No regrets. Need cash for other trades. I think that makes eminent sense. Yeah, Joseph Everett said something. Let me see what he said. Oh, the symbol's not changing, Vinny says. Joseph Everett, the theory on Cosmo is that with a split, there was also a name change, a new QSIP number, meaning the shorts have to cover. The theory on COSM, Joseph Everett, the theory on COSM is that with the split, there was also a name change and a new QSIP number, meaning the shorts have to cover. Very interesting, Joseph. Very interesting. So wouldn't it be great if maybe Lou will be correct after all? $15. I know, Greg, I'm pretty slow on the uptick sometimes. Yeah, shorts have to cover. This is Steve Mertz. All shares because of this. I don't know. They have to cover because of this. I don't know. Yeah, then MMTLP should be worth a lot. They do have to cover, Rudy says. You might be right. I mean, ultimately they have to cover. But if they, I guess the argument is it's a name change and a new QSIP number, so you have to send the old shares in. I don't know. Yeah, Vinny, I think they can keep doing it. Maybe they stop trading so FINRA can stop the trading. Lauren's mom, you need to look up the symbol COSM, then enter the order. Yeah, America First. This should have been MMTLP. Could you imagine? Yeah, Jay, where are the halts to protect retail? Hey, Barry, happy Friday. They don't force MMTLP. It's a much bigger play, iPhone repair. Yep. Joseph, that's what I was hearing and reading today. There's articles dating back to 13 saying with a name and QSIP number change, they have to. But in today's market, who knows? Yeah. I don't know. They're nothing but the best. 25-1 is causing brokerage houses to locate shares and they can't find them. Yeah, that might be a blessing in disguise. You couldn't hear, you couldn't listen. Yeah, where's the halt on the way down? Matt, that's exactly right. America First, great. So that's, I'm really happy for the people that are in it. I don't know, Don J. I'm just catching the theory right now from Joseph Everett and one other guy that I forgot. I'm sorry, the name. I guess the argument is when you reverse split so many shares and you change the name, you get a new QSIP. So the brokers are having a hard time locating the shares. I must admit, I'm not fully bought in on that theory. I suppose what it might be then is that the shorts are still short the original company. And then the company is reversing into a new. So rather than what I described this morning, that maybe, I'm just thinking out loud, rather than that large block of shorts being reduced into a 1/25th, maybe that's still out there and now they have to start trading in another stock. Yeah, I guess it could. Sergio and the cat zone, I think people are saying it's going to go. I don't have enough knowledge to have an opinion. I think normally reverse splits don't work. So maybe this strategy of, like you say, changing the QSIP in the name might be it. But there also might be other news coming. Could be just fear of missing out. Well, they shrunk the float. All right, so thank you for that, little red Chevelle. These are essentially new highs right now. So as it's making new highs, that's Logic will be all right. Logic will be all right. It's not, logic's going to make you money. It just might not do it right this moment. MMAT just went green. So KYP, they have to close out their position past 16. Well, I hope Alicia is rich. 16. Yeah, I'm going to find out. I just can't find it out while I'm talking to you guys. So we got 20 minutes to go. I'll find out by tonight or in the morning over the weekend. I know I sold too early too. I sold I don't know. I can't remember which day. It was like 2 or 3, 4 days ago. Can't sell. Are we thinking this is rolling into next week? It certainly can. You don't have to worry. About not having a chance. If you look at the chart of, thank you very much, $100, Bretton Hodge, $100 a share is $4 before the split. That's a good point. But $4 would be a nice move, right? I think that's great, KYP. Logic has at some point soon, they're going to have a distribution date. And then you get 2 for the price of 1. When does MMTLP flip to the new ticker? There won't be a new ticker. It's a private company. CEO bought it at $5 a change. Key, I think, and if this is a short covering, yes, any positive anywhere that gives you guys money and others, they're going to move to other stocks. So the beast will be alive as far as Wall Street's concerned. I'm not convinced this is short covering. I'm not convinced. I'm going to have to find out. But I don't think it's 100 million shares. I don't know what the possible short position could be. Well, that's interesting. It's 100 million shares, but it would be, how much would it be times 25? That's that's a S load of shares. Okay, see, Peter, Cosmo running into next week, fear of missing out. Yeah, it's making new highs now. It's up 100%. And so obviously retail's jumping into it heavily. Possibly I'm going to try something. If it's 100 million shares today, that's what I think, that's fairly typical volume recently. But 100 million today, you would have to multiply it by 25. Is that the volume today? Price adjusted? I don't know. Almost 18. Yeah, 2.5 billion pre-split. So you guys might be onto something. That's a huge amount of volume. Maybe there is short covering in there. I'm sorry, I just don't know. It's $18 right now. Days to cover on COSM is 0.1. Well, we've done it. Abdu, in my opinion, it's just opinion, when you trade it, I don't think it's going to open down open at 33 cents, if that's what you mean. But I'm conflicted here because the volume is massive. It's trading at 1863, which means it's at 74 cents. That's approaching the highs that I recall that it ever traded. So high volume, new highs, that's usually a pretty good signal of a stock that's going to go up. But I'm really concerned that these are professional shorts. These are the ones that screwed you in AMC and GME. These are the real boys and girls. It's mostly boys. So I don't know, for whatever it's worth, and I wouldn't listen to me. I would be so tempted just to take my money off the table and get the hell out. But it's behaving, it's $19 now. It's behaving like something, there's another shoe to drop. So, and pre-split, that's like a volume of almost, it'll be, by the end of the day, it'll probably be almost 3 billion shares pre-split traded. So that's pretty powerful. That is pretty powerful. But you don't have to be in every trade. And if you miss out on one, you miss out on one. I think $18 or $20, or if it goes higher, to short sellers, when this eventually stops, when the surge of volume stops on the buy side, I just think short sellers will come in and hurt it. But I got to tell you guys, it looks really strong. So maybe Lou was onto something. It's up 121%, 19. It's pretty good. But I wouldn't buy into it. I just, these are better names to buy into now than this. Maybe the CEO is onto something. You can't get your money out when you can't sell. So maybe, like somebody said on the call, that maybe that's a blessing. I sold my puny 4 shares at 568 or 540. I forget. 5 something. 558. I don't know. So look at all I missed out on. If I had waited, I'd get most of my money back. I wouldn't chase this. And one thing the shorts can do is get everyone sucked in, and they go, and then they sell it off. Chicken Nugget says, we already won the chicken game. No pun intended. TD borrowed our shares, and now they can't find them. They said no selling. Well, now, Steve, if you can't sell the current shares, this buying pressure is going on while no one's selling. NFTs, naked, synthetic. Adam L., I would buy profits, not chase. Put my profits into other plays. I happen to agree. Little Red Chevelle, $20 incoming. Chuma Uamadu. Lou deleted his vids on channel because of YouTube strike price. He has another account. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfectly good explanation why he didn't have it. William, please explain. Get everyone sucked in. No one can buy. Oh, that's a good point. You can't even get sucked in. You can't buy, Zachariah. It's a good point. I guess you just have to watch this. I don't know, guys. I think there's a lot of risk. And you bought and sold today, but you can't with the old shares. All right, Brian, that's smart. So you bought early, sold. What happens with NextBridge, Sammy? Nobody knows right now. But in my opinion, NextBridge makes a lot of sense why it's taking this. It's only been a week. I don't know the Cosmos ceiling. I don't know the Cosmos ceiling. Lion says there was a hard resistance at 20, which would be, I know Lion can do it in his head. I know he can do it in his head. Yeah, 80 cents. That was kind of the previous high, wasn't it? Around 80. This is a test of our holding ability, and I just failed. Same here, Whimsy Chick. I think that's right, Widener. They're just figuring out the situ. There's not, in my opinion, there's nothing preventing them from shorting it down, but they stop censorship. They might be in the same position as you are. They can't trade the original shares right now. I think this is a bit of retail show of strength, just buying into a trend going upward, which is great. I hope it keeps going. But I think the shorts at some point will gain control. Lion says hard resistance at 2022, which I think is the old highs. Yeah, $25 is $1. That would be amazing. Well, that's my point, stop censorship. If they don't, it's imbalanced in the other direction. Abicey thinks it's going to 55. I am out at 70 cents. Carrick, I think that's, for me, look, it may run, but it may collapse. So you made a profit at 70 cents. Cashed out at 20. I think that's... Virtue Financial owns 89K plus shares. Attack next week, Rudy thinks. Look, we're all guessing now. We're all guessing now. Hi in Germany, Hairline Gaming. Just broke 20. She's screaming. I don't know when GTII is going to run, Dennis, but I think... Oh, you can sell, but you couldn't place the order. Yeah, there'll be other plays. And the good thing, all right, it's $21. The good thing if this runs, like Lou was telling you, you can come back into these other plays, whichever ones, not these, other ones, with the profits. I would just be so careful. Just consider, if you can't sell, that some of this might not hold up. But look, I love it. If this is a squeeze, and I'd love it to be a squeeze. I wish I were in it if it's a squeeze. But if it's a squeeze, you're going to see what happens in a squeeze. And then you're going to see why GTI, CRTD, others can run. Lou is smiling and saying, go find your mother. Sellers, I sold mine. Look, Mark's... Marks, I think GTII is a screaming buy. I can't give advice. All right, Steve, I'm almost certain it's based on what TD Ameritrade told me. Yeah, I don't think, guys, if this is a squeeze, and I'm not saying it is. You haven't seen nothing yet. You haven't seen nothing yet. But I just think it's really risky. I wouldn't buy into it. I don't know why we are. I'll be better, Lion. People have put it up, but I said it too. I just said it too. So I'll be better, Lion. I'll be better. Well, there, guys, this is how to do it. Matt Clarick, doubled my cash, sold off 50%, now playing with house money. Squeezes are risking. I'm screenshotting and will be suing TD Ameritrade to make me hold. Yep. You could buy into it if it's a squeeze play. I'm just saying, when you're buying at 20, let me see where it is before I say anything. When you're buying at 19, I have 19 right now, 20, 23, there's risk. That's all I'm saying. It would have been good to buy earlier to trade this, yes. It's already been squeezing. Now it's 21. Yeah, but Alicia, this is what, 2.6 billion shares trading? So you might be right. But if this is truly a squeeze, this is 70, 80 cents on the no, it's like 85 cents on the split prices. I would think a squeeze would have to at least get into the $10, $20 range of the pre-split prices if it's really going to be a squeeze. 22, 22.25, 22.50. Carrick, it is a day trader dream. Yeah, if you... All right, Line says... Line's a little more... He thinks it broke through a little bit. The next resistance is 25. I like that, Michael Quintero. You might have Christmas after all. It would be a great movie if they set a trap that works. And Luciano says we're going to hit 38. Either way, hedge funds are getting smoke. Very good. It's a Christmas miracle. Christine says, all-time high, may see 25 quickly. Let it ride. We'll do it live. Yeah, I got out, John. Lou after dark. $111 million in volume, which makes it like 2.75 billion. You can sell now, James. So James can sell now with 3 minutes to go. They might have caught people out. Man, guys, if this is all it takes, change your name and change the QSIP. Someone's predicting 43. Amanda Lee is predicting 43. Amanda, you light up my life. You man, I look in the mirror in total surprise at the hair on my shoulder and the age in my eyes. Amanda, you light up my life. All right, COSM, as we go around the league to catch the closing stores, 21.98, 21.98, 22, 22, 20, 20, almost 23 on COSM. We go around Finger is up 28 cents, 367. CRTD is 72 cents, up 1.015. GTII is up 3 cents to 60 cents. Pretty good. Wolf is up 1.5 cents to 61 cents. And the star of the day, the New York Yankees of the day, closes at $23. 112 million in volume, and it continues trading into the after hours. 2267, 2250. The volume is almost 3 billion shares today. And I'm sure by the end with the after hours, it will be 3 billion shares. I know, Lion, if it actually becomes the one. I know it's 25 to 1. It might be, Christian. COSM might be the one that goes. I don't know. I don't think they're dumping yet. What's Lion saying? This is where after hours falling knife. Day traders taking profit now. Yeah, I don't know. Pullback is okay. We'll get the chart probably tomorrow or Monday. It'll be able to, I can show you the chart. Wrong symbol. Gosh. It looks like they've already kind of adjusted the chart. Kind of. It looks like they did adjust the chart. So you broke out, rallied up, came down to the 50-day, and then crashed under the 50-day this morning. And now we're all the way back above new highs. This, at least somebody, whoever said this is short covering, might be right. If maybe it was Alicia. That's just an astounding day to be down so heavily and to go back like that. It's an anomaly. Looks how your neck feels. 5.1 billion on the buy side to buy. Oh, on SPY. Well, that's great, guys. It's $21, $22. You guys have made money. You guys have made money. I'm pretty impressed with you guys. And just imagine if it keeps going, it's going to bring life to a lot of these other plays. No one can make money if you can't sell. I know, that's true. NCERF was up 72%, 72,000. You were in the Resistance? Oh, that's just a little song I sang in the Resistance. Oh, that must have been so hard. Not nearly as hard as it is now. So GTII closed 59.75. CRTD closed 75 basically. Up 4 cents. A lot of volume. And That's amazing, guys. That is amazing. Well, now it's down $2 at 20, but that's amazing. That's amazing. Tread carefully. I agree. That's right, Dance. You can dance if you want to. You can dance if you want to. Now they're allowing trades, Kendall. After, as the market closes, they allowed trades. All right, Peter says it's going to squeeze next week. Are you listening? Widener says, take profits, people. I just think there's too much meat on the bone. You got in at 750 and can't sell. That's terrible. Bob L makes the best point. Bob L makes the best point. You've seen today what GTII will do. And this would, if it squeezes, this is just the appetizer. It is only a small, it is wafer thin. Wafer thin. Yo, no. I think that's the best sentence on the board today. Roz Allen. Yo, no. All right, I'm only going to go a little longer because market's closed. Yo, no. Now they're allowing trading. Amazing. I don't regret selling. I do regret selling whenever days ago at 28, 29 cents. Now that it's up, but I still would take that. I would still take that trade. I don't know what's going on right here, and it just feels like risk, but I don't want to fight against the tape. You can't fight the tape. Of course it was, Chris. I didn't even go on it. I think TD will allow you to trade Monday. Maybe I can. I don't know. 18 to 70 cents is awesome. You got to leave things on the table for the next person. That is a beautiful trade. You made 50 cents. That's amazing. No, there's no ham call. Unfortunately, you're left with me. How come this doesn't have a light up here? It seems like a flaw. Yeah, I feel, yesterday, did you see it? It went from what, 33 cents to 18 cents in the open market? That kind of volatility is scary. On the other hand, the 3.5 weeks of straight downward short selling in the other stocks has been ill. Wow, you got them in at 377 and sold at 20? Matt. Well, it looks like something to pull on. I really congratulate all of you. Well, MMTLP, oh gosh. I don't really want to go through the description again. I spent a lot of time on it. But there's nothing you can do. Doesn't mean you won't be able to do something. There's just nothing you can do right now. It's only been a week since FINRA stopped trading. Stopping trading is a lot different than during the day everything's trading. So I don't know. The story's not, the chapter is not closed on MMTLP. NH, New Hampshire. Well, it could take a long time to sort out. That reminds me, I did get some news a little bit on it. New Hampshire is 5.11, down 59 cents. Have to look into that one. Wow, that's great, at 88 cents? That's awesome. What did Avid say? I missed what Avid said. Avid tweet, spot on. I didn't see his tweet, but I believe it. Is there money in that, Jason? The way COS ran today, I might take down my OnlyFans dad bod page pimp. Well, I'm not into, I've never been on that service at all, but my eyes don't get drawn to, the dad bod. I can see how the chicks make money on it, though. See, that's what Ellie's saying could be correct, and that's what I don't know. Ellie is saying, I am holding because the shorts haven't covered yet. I agree with it, Carrick. The more this goes on, the more I want. But NH is up 3,000%. Wow, 2,800. I'll find the answer, because if it's true, I just can't believe it, guys, though. All you need to do is change the QSIP and do a reverse split, and you got a short squeeze. I don't know. Sounds sketchy to me. I know, Heavy Chevy. Yeah, I like that idea, Rudy Myers, on LGIQ. It closed at 40 cents, but what's really interesting to me, it's already on the press. It's already been announced, but they're gonna merge into the Aubrey SPAC. That's going to be Data Logic, and then that Shell is acquiring a wealth management / fintech company that's worth, I think, the deal's worth $250 million. But the Aubrey SPAC, which becomes Data Logic, becomes how they acquire companies this coming year. And I think that's I think that's $3.50, $4 stock in the first quarter. It's 40 cents. And it seems to be breaking through right now. There is this overhang from this financing company, but the information I got this morning is that when I first suggested it to you, it was over 3 million shares that were kind of sitting on the top of the price. But it's now about 1.7 to 1.8 million shares. So it's coming down. And when that's gone, I don't know what keeps the price down. So, and then you're going to have, all right, let me see what this says, Carrick. The rule states all shorts need to cover. Well, they have to cover in everything. But I'm just wondering why, if it's this easy, why hasn't someone done it before? And I also just don't, it can't take more than a day to change the QSIP. You change the name, and the reverse split applies to the old shares. So why do you have to find them to deliver? They're just going to reverse split. I don't know. I got to think that through. I just, because humans are dumb. I think the MMTLP, everything that's fraudulent has to be bought back. But I think, as I've probably bored everybody, there's really only three ways out. One, they turn the machines back on, maybe liquidate only. Two, they go into the gray market. I don't know really how that is time efficient or limits their risk enough, or if they can get it all done. But that's the second. And the third is all the people that are angry with each other let each other off the hook and come to an organized settlement. You turned 150 into 970 trading. Well, I saved 15% on car insurance. That's right. We don't. Amy says because we are going into next year, they don't want to look bad on the SEC full investigation. Yeah. I think that's, Amy. I think that's really a astute observation. Yeah, either scenario is a huge tax consequence, except if they organize that your shares are going to convert into NextBridge and you get a dividend because the company issues new shares to the system. I don't think that'll be a tax event. Yeah, $1,200 a share. I like that. Well, of course, Tropical, the CEO can't say anything. That's exactly right. TD just said they don't allow short selling. You think it's possible? You think, in my opinion, it's supposed to be January next year for the split. In my opinion, it's supposed to be January next year for the split. There's 3 companies that are on the verge of a split. CRTD's having one. Logic's having one. And MMTLP just had one. Yeah, heavy Chevy. It looks like it's going up. I mean, it's hard to fight the tape. As much as every reverse split I've ever been involved with goes down, this one, hard to fight the tape. The new Cosmo ticker is showing none to borrow. I know UB1, it's not on that whiteboard. It was before. I put it up there before, but not yesterday. Philip's right. He's adding to GTII. And guys and girls, what you just saw now in COSM, it basically went from $2.80 to $22. Man, if there is a forced beginning of a buy-in in GTII, wash, rinse, and repeat. It's 80 cents. It just went to the highs. Well, Bunny, I tend to agree. Well, thank you, Barry Crouch. I'm not sure I helped. Oh, GTII, great. Yeah, not sure I helped in this run up in Cosmo. I think I I was going the other direction. But what was I going to say about COSM? I don't know. There might be news. Oh, Chief Trader. Yo. So, yo. I think it's called Chief Trader 1, but I'll look. I'll look. Oh. Oh. No, not trader. Not trader. It's Chief. Here, I'll show you. He's on your page. There he is, Chief Trades. Chief Trades 1. COSM just hit 1740. He says, wow, look at COSM go, amazing. Chief Trade says, if anyone questions the reverse split, you need to pay attention to COSM today. They did a reverse split. Wow. So guys, you got it. This guy has been, this is his opinion, Chief Trades. For CEI and COSM, they did a reverse today. It's forcing shorts to close their short position. The stock is going crazy. That's what will happen with CEI. I know I'm being stubborn. I just don't understand why. But here, this is what he says. Cosmo did a reverse split today and the shorts had to close. Now it's squeezing. So Alicia might be correct. I don't know what this has to do with it. Unvaccinated sperm is worth more than vaccinated sperm. He's clearly not a MAGA fan. Okay, so yo. Kenny Griffin will be indicted. Fact. It's only a matter of time. And while time is not on his side, the trough of evidence is over the last 5 years, most notably in the last 2 years. They will put him away for life. He is done for. A friend of mine says, only meat is done. Chief of Trades. The irony is, I'm almost certain DeSantis knew Kenny G was going down, and he took his $40 million anyway, which if this is the case, I love DeSantis for it. Now if KG buys his way out and DeSantis still backs him, he's done from a political perspective. Only meat is done. That sounds so petty. Food got done, people get finished. That's right. That's right. I don't think it's a squeeze. So you bring up a question, Aunt Maz, that I what's discussing, Elysia? Here, let's see, Elysia. Will help your mood. Yeah, they're looking at the books, yeah. What's that word? I don't know that it's really squeezing. And Alicia, I'm not sure it's really squeezing. And if you ask me right now, I'd flip a coin that it'll be down versus up. But it looks good. Is it down already? We're going down, 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 down. I know. Yeah, it's down $8 now. Huh. You guys don't remember what they did with AMC and GME? They ran it up, they crashed it down, and then they're just stripping. Stripping. Hey, lucky boy. What's that? What's that? What's that? Yeah, exactly. iPhone repair. If it is a squeeze, they haven't even begun. They don't think they're criminals. They think they deserve to make this money. And it's just, Well, just to recap what happened with CRTD today in terms of news announcements. They announced in the morning, they engaged that group called Share & Tell. But later they announced I think this had been previously announced, but they announced their intention to spin off the OG collection. But what was new today is onto Upstream as it sells out its newly dropped NFT collection. The new generative NFT drop featured 1,000 one-of-a-kind images from the OG archives. But the important thing is the distribution will be from to upstream. So Ham yesterday said, hey, lucky boy, I love you. I love you. I do. I do. Don't look so sad. Don't look so sad. I know it's over. Life will go on. Some things will keep on turning. And let's not watch the bridges that we're burning. Lay your head upon my pillow. Hold your warm and tender body close to mine. Hear the whisper of the raindrops falling softly against the window, and make believe you still love me. One more time for the good times. Is that all there is? Peggy Lee was good. Al Green sings that, yes. And I saw him in London. But it's really Ray Price. Chris Christopherson, I think, wrote it. Therefore, it's his song. That's very good. I remember Al Green when he was young and when he was old. Wow, 15K. 15K. Don't look so sad.
I know it's over.
He's good.
But life goes on, and this world keeps on turning. Yeah, let's just be glad we had this time. There is no need to watch the bridges
That we're
that
burning.
will burn. Lay your
Hey. Cosmo for the win. Cosmo for the win. I hope West Virginia. I hope it's next. And it very easily could be. Very easily could be. Body tonight. That's Al Green. Al. You can call me Al Green. You can call me Al. You can call me Al. But then there's this. Then there's this. So it's an old fuddy-duddy country guy or Al Green.
Don't look so sad.
I know it's over.
But life goes
Goes
on,
on.
and this whole world will keep on turning. Let's just be
Be
glad we
glad.
had some
Hi,
time
Linda.
to spend
Together. That's Ray Price.
There's no need to
Watch the bridges that were burning. So that's Ray Price. Wow. Elvis did it? Elvis did it. Elvis did it. J-Dog.
Don't look so sad. I know it's over.
What is your
But
update?
life goes on, and this whole world will keep on turning.
Elvis.
Let's just be glad we had some time to spend together. There's no need
You
to
did
watch
watch
the bridges
bridges that were burning. Lay your head on my pillow. You know, Jay, you know how they called him Elvis the Pelvis? My dad used to say, it's just good the parents didn't call him Enos. Lay your head upon my pillow. Pretty popular song. And then here's I think he wrote it. I think he wrote it.
Don't look so sad. I know it's over. But life goes on.
Cosmos is
This whole
tanking.
world
So unfair.
keep on.
It's just so unfair.
Let's just be
iPhone
glad
repair. It'll be back up.
we had some time to spend together.
So that's Chris Christopherson, and I think he wrote the song. Perry Como sang it. I think Willie sang it too, but I can't find one. Yeah, don't panic. You guys are winning in COSM. That's amazing. It's not like I didn't have my chances myself to do it, but this music makes me want to cry. All right, so how about how about this one? How about this one? to make you really question what happened in the 70s. What did happen in the 70s? What did happen? What did happen? How'd you know, JT? John Travolta. You can't be sad with this song. I know, carrying the paint and hitting on the girl. You have that same gait. I like it when he checks out the girl. That's what young men do. Two. Give me two. The New G's. All right. He's so obviously, you know, he's obviously a happy guy. There's the paint. That was the same guy that did War Games. I remember that movie. I remember when you had to pay to go into theaters, like, you know, AMC. The next oil play after MMTLP. I have a private company that's putting the band back together. I just got the information. That's the way I would play it, no shorting.
Is an understatement, to say the least. But, you know, Lionel, first of all, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy for you. You know, you deserve what you're getting here. And Lionel and I met 32 years ago, right here in Las Vegas. But, you know, I'm so excited about this because, now for those of you who are young, aspiring songwriters who want to learn how to pitch a song, Lionel is your guy. I called him from the Riviera here, and I said, Lionel, I'd love for you to come over and write a song for me. And he said, I don't think I have time. I said, well, it's going to be a part of our greatest hits album. It'll sell, I think, a minimum of 4 or 5 million records. He says, it's 7 o'clock tomorrow night, okay? So he came in at 7 o'clock, and we had this little upright rinky-dink piano in the dressing room, and he starts to play, and then he says, before I do this, I have to tell you, I pitched this to the Commodores, and they turned it down, which I thought was an interesting approach to selling a song. So he sits down, and he starts playing, and he goes, lady, wait. And the rest of it, all he had was the one word. I said, how could they have turned that word down, I asked him. So we go in the studio 6 months.
How could they turn down that word?
We're going to do The Gambler. Hold it, Kenny.
That's not the one I want to play for you. I want to play... There it is. This is good.
Now, I have to tell you, when we first started talking about doing Crossroads, it was really interesting to me because Lionel and I, well, we have a lot in common. You know, some of my songs go a totally different way. So when I said, well, Lionel, the real trick to this is that you've got to do some of my stuff. And I said, are you willing to do Ruby? He said, oh, baby, am I.
Ready to do it.
Oh, baby, am I.
Oh, yeah, no.
So that's what really got me excited about doing this.
So if you think you're excited, I am about to sweat like you've never seen before. Because I'm ready. Just
No, it's so cool. Really,
just point to me.
I will.
Just point to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Now be careful. Don't spit out.
I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
Can you pitch here, Tom? You painted up your lips and rolled and curled your tinted hair. Really, are you contemplating going out somewhere? The shadow on the wall tells me the sun is going down. Oh, don't take your love to town. Doesn't mean it's still that old crazy age away. But I was proud to go and do my patriotic chore. And yes, it's true that I'm not the man I used to be. Oh, Ruby, I still need some company. She's leaving now, 'cause I just heard slamming of the door. The way I know I've heard it slam 100 times before. No. And if I could move, I'd get my gun, put her in the ground. You ready? Oh,
Ruby.
don't take your love to town. Give it all.
For God's sakes, don't turn
No.
around.
It's not don't turn around, it's turn around. For God's sake. No, don't turn around. For God's sakes, turn around.
For God's sakes, turn around.
Lionel's always great. Lionel's always great. Sail on down the line, about a mile or so. Let me see what's happening to COSM. 10 more minutes. COSM's down 10 right now. GTIILIVE should not do what COSM did, Fusion says. I happen to agree. It is stunning to watch. I don't think they should do it. GTIILIVE has some things up. Who is that? Dave. And just watch what DRTD just did. And you're going to see that, I think, based on what Ham said yesterday. Next up is GTII, and I think GTII is going to have the same kind of potential. Yeah, it's down 50%. It's just annoying that you can't. It's not fair, really, that you can't get in and out. That's a crooked market. It's a crooked market that. You can't. Yeah, I'm very happy for everybody that made money. I don't know where you get those little shamrocks from, but you should put up green dollar signs. Oh, Ruby, don't take your love to town. Ruby. Well, let's see if there's any breaking news on Twitter. Any breaking news on the Twitterati? We'll start with John Berta. John Berta says, oh no, tweets and replies. No update, it looks like, from John today. I could be wrong. Let me look again. Berta said 6 hours ago, clever, but remember, a human on the other end of the form has to put the spreadsheet together. Which I think he means takes time. John says, Meta never sold you shares. When did you buy them and through whom? That is where your beef lies. I agree with him. Okay, 8 hours ago, holders, please fill out this form. This is the first step in the process of determining if there is an imbalance in the number of shares issued and what you own. This info will help which broker dealers have been playing fair and which are culpable. Don't BS, won't work. So I'll do that. There's an investor form and you can send it in. I'll do that. You send it to, it's Huckleberry or Hucklebearer. Okay, let's just quickly see if the hamster added anything. Ham said, this is about fraud. Ham really hasn't put up anything since I read it all to you before. And let's try Uncle Smokey. I think he's a bit of a go-to source. He has a 31-page report. Bravo. Bravo. He's in D.C., Uncle Smokey. I should go see him. My Cosmos shares are gone in TD. They're not gone. They're just, I bet they're there after midnight tonight, or certainly by Monday. They're just exchanging them out. I know Tropical. Yeah, he went looking for the center in his town. I know. Good for him. Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I'll try to get some information on COSM this weekend. Market caps magically changed from $750 million to something else. It's okay. The numbers are just how they keep track of it in their computer. They're going to match it all up. But it takes. Does the CEO own half the float? Yeah, he owns a lot. I think the float. Who is this? Refer to investor. This is why the float is always hard. People say, well, you see it there. I think a lot of the float is closely held in GTII. So that half, he just bought shares, 2 days ago? It's all locked up for 6 months. So not only is that CEO not going to do anything to hurt you, he can't sell his shares for 6 months. I don't think you've been robbed, Stock Talk, on MMTLP. I mean, if you mean you missed out on a chance to sell in the open market on a squeeze, yeah, that's still to be seen. They may open trading again because they may have no option. Excuse me. But they're not going to take your money. They're not going to just take your money and you lose everything. So, all right, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, you had a chance, I think. What you just saw just now in COSM, I think you would have seen multiples and multiples of that if they hadn't stopped trading in MMTLP. But it's not over yet. I agree with Casey. I know, Alicia. TD, it's just, I think, I'm just guessing, but I think, Alicia, you would have sold at 20 or 22 or whatever it was, just to have a nice weekend. It does seem like that's unfair, but we'll see how it opens. It's not over. It's not over. You know, the Norm Macdonald. I know you couldn't. Norm Macdonald has a scene in which he says, it's a little bit mean, but he says he went to Adele concert, and he was really disappointed. And the guy says, "Why? You don't like Adele?" He said, "No, I went to the concert, and she sang one song, and it was over." Get it? It's not over till the fat lady sings. It seems a little cruel, doesn't it? Yeah, see, synthetic wand prints, that is, I think, okay. You got a little profit, you were down 5, you get your shekels back. And I'm going to try to do a video on GTII, maybe not tonight, because I don't know why I'm tired. I didn't sleep very well last night, but I think GTII is just screaming by. And so is CRTD. I think Wolf is a great buy, but the chart doesn't look that good, but I think Wolf is a great backers. And MMTLP, I think you're going to make money in it. But I agree, I should have written COSM on this board this morning. I don't know, Mr. Lamar. my answer would be no, except that the volume was so strong today. Pre-split, that was almost 3 billion shares, and it was up so much. I don't know. It's hard to fight the tape. Hard to fight the tape. I know stock talk. It's the short squeezes. That's one thing Ham says. If you can get in at under, around $1 or under, it's worth the risk. But once the price gets up, they take your opportunity from you. And it's one of the reasons I didn't write it up here. It's one of the reasons I mentioned Logic a handful of times, LGIQ. The shorts in the NEO exchange a year and a half ago hurt the stock, but that, best we can tell, is over with. There might still be a short position, but the active shorting is over with. And then this recent financing they did in March, I explained it, but it's left a overhang, which is almost gone. But I think it's the kind of stock that I believe you can see 8x on your money, 10x by, first half of next year. And I think it's in the press, but when the company merges over, they're going to change management, change the CEO. And anyway, that's... Well, I think, guys, they just know they can make much money shorting it. And then all the retail comes in. It's like they just have to keep pressing the sell button, George Plakaris is probably going to Congress, but he could be organizing a deal. He could be organizing, negotiating. I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, I think the thing with many of these over-the-counter stocks, you just got to get out when the liquidity is there. Just got to get out when the volume is there. And if you only take a small profit instead of you go, oh, shoot, just be thankful you didn't have a loss. Just keep your capital alive. Keep hope alive. Washington he might need approval for something, but also he might be visiting the SEC or FINRA. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh my God, Vinny. Imagine what they were able to get together before you guys could all get on and talk to each other. It's amazing. So we have to starve them, take our money out of the market. Well, that's right. I think for me personally, I don't know when, it'll be sometime next year after these squeezes. I think just taking the money out of the market is, I think your generation and the younger generation will probably, I think there's a potential that the whole Wall Street edifice collapses, and the losses people have, particularly in the baby boom generation, maybe the millennials, it's just going to leave a sour taste. I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, George. Look at the chart, George. Look at the chart on, and that really smart person from I think she said Florida, I think it was Brenda, pointed out. Look at Root. Root announced this 18-for-1 split on August 8th. And then you go to the chart of Root, and above August 8th, when they did the reverse split, it hit its high at 30, roughly. And then look at it, pulled back, sharp downward, a lot like the one we're seeing today, and it rallied one more time. But then look how the selling just didn't stop, and they got it down to $5 from 30. And according to him, it was reversed up from $1 something to 30. So my point is, I think you're going to get a chance again to get out if that's what you want to do. If there's huge news, you're not going to want to get out. Right, Jeff, Cat Buckeye, you have to trade understanding it's corrupt. And really what that means is trade it. Get in, realize that you're on the back of a tiger, and get out. I'm about OTC now. No reverse split, no halting. I take my chances. Raymundo. Raymundo. Very clever, Raymundo. Raymundo. Sometimes I'm slow, very slow. Weidener, thank you very much. Too bad all my girlfriends, well, they always said things like that, but they married the other guy. That's true. Don't go up. I know, Raymond. Don't go against. It's very hard to go against the big guys. That's right, Timothy Hack. Like Nuveen says, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. All right, Northwest Sasquatch, full distribution back to 735, and fills a gap. I don't think GTII has any plans. Hey, Brent, I don't think GTII has any plans to go do that same. Look, it's pretty clear what GTII's next steps are. And I think, I'm telling you, I haven't heard it from anyone, but next week's the last full week of the year. So I'm willing to predict, but I have no information. But I'm willing to predict that the audit will get done next week. It's possible anyway. Then you have the law firm merger. So then the first thing that happens after the law firm merger, they put out a digital coupon for, let's say, $1,000 discount on legal fees per share as a token, an upstream. Now, Ham said that what might happen is any one shareholder can only use that coin once. So if you have 10,000, what do you call them, tokens that give you $1,000 off, you can only use it one of them. But the brokerage firms will have to deliver it. So it makes that run on the bank. It makes that, demand for basically to reconcile the books. The second thing, they are going to issue a warrant at some time as a dividend. Now, will they do it as a digital dividend, which is what I think they should do? I've mentioned it. I've gotten hey, great idea back, but I still think that's a great idea. If not, they'll do it like the other one, issue it as a dividend. That'll catch everyone out. I swear they're going to try to do the Picasso again, and they'll do it with upstream. So you got 3 things in a row that could trigger the reconciliation of the books and start a short squeeze. You've got the 1-800 law firm. The firm has $3 million in the bank. They hired West Christian. They hired Sharon Tell. They've already got data. And you've got the Kramers flat on their back, as far as I can tell. And then you have these, the Doug Flutie pass of pot news with the Trento mines. I mean, it's gone on so long, they had to file something to say it's taken too long. But they've never come out and said, hey, that's just not going to work. So if something like that came in, that could start a squeeze just because of the huge valuation. I mean, just again, this is an example. I'm making the numbers up. But if Trento Mines comes in and it's worth $30 billion, and let's say all the number of shares out there are 1 billion, that's $30 a share. Now, obviously you get a discount from that valuation because you still got to go get it out of the ground and spend money. But I don't know what that discount is. Maybe it's you only get a third of that. It's $10 a share initially on the way up. So I think there's a lot of reasons that GTII not only can go up fundamentally, but then have a short squeeze. Yes, Aunt Maz, I hope your niece is doing okay. I did go in and light one candle, but that was a while ago. But I think of her, pray, give prayers. Well, thank you, Timothy Keck. I know, COSM, I'm so glad some of you guys are in the green. My angle on it, which I could be wrong, but my angle on it would be, whew, I'm back in the green on that one. I'm going to, take my wad off the table and go play something else. But it would be incredible if there's something else going on in COSM. That looks exactly like AMC's chart. Yeah, that's interesting. You're using Ham's words exactly. I don't know which ones, but I give full and complete credit to Ham for everything we're going through. Ham has patiently taught everybody and taught me a lot. Ham taught me a lot. Sometimes he gets mad at me when I ask a stupid question. But how high can it go? All I know is we've got to get up before we can go down. I don't know which one you're talking about, but in a squeeze, GTII and CRTD just can go to the moon. I don't know for sure with Cosmo because I think the big boys are in there already weighing on it. He's a little temperamental, but this guy traded in high tension situations back when there were trading desks and you're competing with everyone and you get orders, and he's got the greatest stories. You get orders and you got to get them off, and you got to call. Oh, the tension and stress is very high. But you learn back then, even 5 seconds on the phone is valuable. And he had to make whatever it was every day to keep his position on the desk. And so a lot of that style is a New York trader's style. Somewhere between zero and infinity. Yeah, it was intense. And I wish I had known a guy like Ham when I was young. Well, Aunt Maz, I've been in there with Ham the entire way. I'm not trying to take any credit. I'm trying to confirm what you say. I've been in there the entire way. The guy never quits. He's straight. He gets frustrated, but you know what? More than I do. He patiently tells the story over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. I think it'll go up before they start. Yeah. He is smart, and he 20 miles wall to wall in my home office day trading. That's amazing, Timothy. I hope you lost weight. Something you just said, but well, anyway, he's impressed me. Ham has impressed me by staying in and never quitting. But remember, he's not going to be here forever. But he's been true to his word about education. And by the way, I have never seen an ounce of greed or selfishness or looking out for himself first. He is trying to help all of you and everybody. And he is trying to... He never expected the Kramers to last this long, but he is trying to finish what he started. My college professor worked at Goldman Sachs, and he doesn't like slowpoke, and he cusses a lot. That's me. When I see something when someone starts, all right, what is it? Tell me. All right, and then I interrupt. So what is it? How much do you need? What's it? And in the Wall Street milieu, you can swear a blue streak. Well, he preaches be patient, but he also says distribution. Like what happened in COSM today, Ham wouldn't like it. The key is accumulation, distribution. I don't know, Max Soto. It's impossible to know what's going on with MMTLP. But a week ago, FINRA stopped trading. So it's only been a week. It's possible FINRA had good reasons because they gave the approval for the final sign-off, and some places only heard about it late Thursday night. And so those brokers, remember, are lawsuit averse. They want to keep their jobs, and they don't want to do anything unless they have a paper trail that covers their ass. So it makes sense to me that a lot of brokers Thursday night, Friday morning called up, and so FINRA stopped trading. And then the shares of MMTLP, the record date was Monday, and depending on which news announcement you believe, the distribution date was Wednesday. Might have been Thursday. But the distribution date of NextBridge was Wednesday. I'm not talking last Wednesday. I'm talking Wednesday. You know, day before yesterday. So the distribution was made by MMAT. That distribution, as far as I know, has to go to the DTC. The DTCC sends it to the transfer agent and the brokerage houses. Maybe it's through the transfer agent. But what the transfer agent has is she has the 165 million apparently that has already been registered to specific names. Well, that's all the shares that are out there. Apparently there's at least 2 to 1. There's 2 extra shares for every one that's real. So everything's counterfeit. Well, those counterfeit shares are in street name, electronic entry. So they're in the name of Merrill Lynch, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, E-Trade, Morgan Stanley, and on and on and on and on. Well, MMAT announced that they completed their distribution. I'm having a problem with my memory. It was either yesterday or regardless. Either day doesn't change my feeling that MMT did what it was supposed to do to distribute the shares to the DTCC. DTCC then notified the transfer agent and the brokerage houses. Well, the brokerage houses, who are filled with human beings, young, just out of college, people that have plans for the holidays, had an argument with their boyfriend, had their girlfriend break up with them, their father, just people with real life situations have been working in these brokerage firms for a year, 2 years, whatever, and they've never seen anything like this. And in fact, they probably don't even realize what's happening to those real accounts because everything is computerized. The fails to deliver. Goldman Sachs, Gary Gensler, Goldman Sachs, came up with the F3 button. So you touch that button and the market maker says, oh, you're going to locate the shares. They enter the trade, you pay cash, and in your account goes a failure to deliver. And brokerage firms say, oh, it's going to be delivered. There's a lawyer's letter, and they hit the right button, so we don't have to worry. And they've never had to worry before. If you think about fractional reserve banking, if all of you guys right now had accounts at Chase Manhattan and all went into the same branch asking for $10,000 out, you couldn't get it. Now, the only reason there's no bank failures and bank runs is FDIC insurance, which Roosevelt put up. But in the brokerage business, no one asks for those shares, the real shares, all at the same time. So these FTDs, these counterfeit shares, this toilet paper, just sits in the account. It never causes any trouble. It's on your statement. The human beings at the brokerage firms, nothing ever happens. It's not a big deal. But this time, there's a run on the bank because of the distribution of a private company. All of a sudden, Wall Street needs all of the shares at the same time. So run on the bank. So MMAT delivered the shares on Wednesday, maybe yesterday, but let's call it Wednesday. The brokerage firms, either late yesterday or this morning, got the notification of the magnitude of the problem. Morgan Stanley, DTCC says we have 5 million shares, but you look on the books, we've got 30 million shares in our customer accounts. That means there's 25 million shares that don't exist. They don't know about it, or most of them don't know about it. What are we going to do? Well, we got to buy in. Well, wait a minute. FINRA closed trading. Well, let's call the other side of the fails to deliver and let's ask for delivery. That's happening. We got to, and of course the answer is we can't deliver. So what's happening with MMTLP is that we can't do anything about it. We just can't do anything. It's not even worth worrying about it. But behind the scenes, they're getting their head around the magnitude of the issue. As far as I can tell, there's only 3 ways out. One is to turn the machines back on, start trading, let Wall Street buy in all of those shares. What are the odds of that happening? I'm going to say it's a third. The second option is they go down the road of a gray market where your brokerage firm starts calling you and offering you a price for your stock. I think that's extraordinarily inefficient and won't get accomplished by I think their deadline's the end of the year. Ham says every single share has to be bought in. What are the odds? I'll go with a third because it's kind of the default position. And maybe some brokers do it, the smaller brokers do it anyway. The third option is that everyone sits around the table, the shorts, the prime broker, telephonically, the brokerage houses, Nextbridge, and the big shareholders that'll represent you. And it seems obvious to me what they have to do. They have to swallow their pride. Nobody's going to go to jail. There's going to be no justice at all. Nothing is going to make you feel like we got them. However, the big investors are PO'd and they're going to ask for big numbers. The most logical thing, Nextbridge has 500 million shares authorized. There's 165.5 that are issued. Apparently, there's 335 million that are fake. Well, if you do the arithmetic, oddly, it's almost like they knew that counterbalances. Nexbridge is an oil company. They need probably billions of dollars to develop a 3.5 billion barrel field and maybe acquire other assets, acquire other acreage, build pipelines. They need capital. The shorts and the brokerage firms need shares to close out the failed delivers. FINRA wants it all to go away so it doesn't get on the news. SEC Gary Gensler wants to protect his sinecures at various board of directors and the attaboys from Goldman Sachs. So it's in the interest of everyone for Nexbridge to issue 335 million shares to the shorts so they can cover their positions. The shorts, the criminals, will give Nexbridge money for that. What's the advantage? Nexbridge suddenly becomes a fully funded oil company. What's the advantage to the system? Everything I just said. They solve the problem, no discovery, no news. They can go on, everybody goes on with their life and find out, starts following Khloe Kardashian instead of Kim Kardashian, whatever goes on out there. Who gets hurt? You do. The shareholder gets hurt because for every, you were supposed to get a 1-for-1 distribution. Now, your one becomes one of three. So your ownership gets diluted by these two. Now, in a real life situation, that happens all the time. To go in 1-for-1 in a company that needs funding and then suddenly be one of three in a company that's fully funded, that is sweet music. That is great because the company's going to survive and you can make money. But is it fair to do that? So my suggestion is, and I've put it in a video, but I forgot, and I'll tell you the two variables I left out. I think one share of the private company right now is worth $100 a share. I'm not going to bore you with it, but if you take the barrels in the ground, assume a small per barrel price and divide it out, multiply and divide it out, I came up with 106. So $100 right now, your one share of MMTLP should each be worth $100 in my estimation. I've seen estimates on Twitter from as low as 30, 40, all the way up to 180. I know the insiders don't want to sell before 500. So anyway, back of the envelope, wag, it's $100. My suggestion is for the big boys that are negotiating, ask for 300. Then add another 100 for the lawyers and for you as a distribution. That way, each person gets the same ratio of ownership that they originally had. There's money to pay the lawyers, and there could be billions of dollars, or at least a couple billion or 3 billion, to distribute to you as cash. This, I think, is the most logical solution. It solves everybody's problem. And the system can go tottering on down the road. What's in it for you is, I can't find my cards, but at $400, if they paid that, my memory is it's like $135 billion. If they took 10% of that, it's $13.5 billion. That's $40 a share. That's probably where it's going to come in. $40 a share, not the 400. But I hope it comes in at 400 or 500 because the sons of bitches stole for years and years and years, billions. And all of a sudden at the end of the day, they go crying to mommy. Come on. You're big boys. You're bullying us saying that we're bag holders and all that, and you're taking the money out of the market, well, you took risk, you got caught. Anyway, that's a third odds, I think, that some sort of settlement would happen like that. My problem is I neglected to take into account the possibility that NextBridge is already sold. It might already be sold. Then the third option, unless everyone reworks all the contracts, the third option isn't viable. But I don't know that. I don't know if it's sold or not sold. And the other assumption I'm making, the second variable that I didn't think of, is will the insiders do like, well, it looks like maybe the CEO did a good thing right now, but will they do like the CEO of Cosmo did, tell everyone he's not going to do a reverse split for 6 months and then announce it this week that he did? Will they sell everyone out, basically? And I'm not saying the guy at Cosmo did. It's just an example that maybe. But that's a variable. My belief is they will not. They said, we will not take a low offer. Our answer will be hell no. And what's more, hell no, and here's a lawsuit. So I think you're going to be fine what's happening with MMTLP person. But worrying about it this weekend is useless. Probably worrying about it into next week is useless. If you're worried, one, that they're going to steal your money, they're not. That's just, they won't. If you're worried that they're not going to cover all the shares, according to him, that's not an option. They have to reconcile all the shares. If you're worried that they'll make a backroom deal that you will only get $3 a share, you're starting to get into the realm of what's possible. But you've got the big boys that own 40% of the shares that are going to say, hell no, and what's more, hell no, and here's a lawsuit. So I don't think $3 is going to cut it. I've already told you that I think the number's 100, and maybe 400 should be the fair number. The insiders don't want to sell till it gets to 500 or 600. So I don't know what to tell you. It's human negotiation. It's posturing. It's preening. It's bullying. They'll come up with a number. So just to repeat myself, it makes sense that nothing has happened yet because the back offices are just seeing in black and white how bad the problem is. The phone calls are just starting and the negotiations are just starting. Brokerage houses are going to put pressure on FINRA to open the markets. Who knows if they will or not? That's the first option. Open the markets, sell only. Second option, gray market. Well, there's going to be a lot of brokerage houses that say, screw this, I'm not going along with everybody. I only have 500,000 shares in my accounts anyway, and I'm Davenport out of Charlottesville. I want this off my books. So they start calling around to all the brokers, the clients that the brokers have in Davenport, and they buy it all. That is gray market, and that could start happening with or without FINRA's help. But my concern about the gray market is it's so inefficient. You know, maybe the first 40%, 60% gets done, but that last 40 or 20% is going to be so hard to close. It could carry into next year. They may go that way, but there's so much risk. News, discovery, potential lawsuits. I think they're going to look at that and say, let's not do it this way. Let's either trade the market or let's come to an omnibus global settlement to the whole thing. And worrying about it this weekend or even next week, it just doesn't make sense. You're not going to lose your shares. You're going to get recompense. in my judgment, the absolute worst that could happen is they reverse trades for a whole year. They'll destroy the stock market. Who would ever want to trade ever again? That's the worst case, in my opinion. The second worst case is it goes in the gray market and you don't negotiate well, but you'll still get your money back, worst case. If they open the market, you have a chance still at that short squeeze. If they make a settlement, I believe they'll start at 290, which is what the shorts got it down to, or the 10 or the 12. But I'm telling you, the 40% in there will not settle for a low price. So I think if they come up with a global settlement, I think you're going to be okay. But does it help to worry about it? Right now, there's just nothing you can do. The computers have your shares recorded. The cash went into your accounts. You were there on record date. And no one's losing that data. And it makes sense. It's only been a week. It makes sense that this much time so far has been necessary for the back offices. It all makes sense. So we can say, boy, I wish I had that money. I could have traded Cosmo today. Yeah. But FINRA did, out of the blue, stop trading. It's 1 week ago. I don't see the benefit really in worrying about MMTLP yet. And personally, I don't see the benefit in fighting tilting at windmills. All I think is we should get ready to sell our stock in the open market or in the gray market. And if it's the other way, we'll get shares in a fully funded oil company and we'll get a distribution. 3 completely reasonable outcomes. And you're going to ask the timing. I think it's going to happen based on talking with a gentleman, a smart financial guy yesterday. I think it makes sense that they try to get it done in 2022. 2022. Take the losses in 2022, remove the legal risk in 2022, and close it all down in 2022. So I don't think you're going to have to wait more than Christmas time to find the answer. Could I be wrong? Obviously, I could be wrong. And if they all start being uncooperative, it could go legal for 3 or 4 years. But it's not in anybody's interest to do that. So it would have been great to have a squeeze on Friday or on Monday in MMTLP. The powers that be blocked us. C blocked us on that. So, long answer, but that you asked me what's going on with MMTLP, and that's my answer. Well, Rick, I don't know really. MMAT apparently has a large short position as well. I think when you read the website and you look at what they're doing, it really is a state-of-the-art, next-generation technology company. It really is something you'd like to own. That it would be a double squeeze. The squeeze would happen in MMTLP. People would take money from that and buy MMAT. Well, it's unclear to me just how ginormous or puny a squeeze will be now in MMTLP. So I just don't know the answer. I personally don't see the connection between those two decisions. I know if I make money in MMTLP, my first decision will not be I'm going to give money to MMAT. That won't be my first choice. But others out there might. I certainly think the stock after MMAT is subject to tax loss selling. There was a guy here that made a comment, well, that sounds like just like AMC. Well, it's a fact. Every single year, tax loss selling season comes. It ends on December 31. So that selling pressure will be gone. There could be a short squeeze. Also, next year, analysts and investors will start discounting the future, the positives for MMAT, and be willing to, they'll bring those future potentials to the present, and they'll say, you know what, MMAT is undervalued, and there could be buying there. So I think MMAT, one of the things that hurts MMAT, they have the puts and calls trading, but I think MMAT has a really bright future. But I'm not convinced on the short squeeze nature of it. Do you know what this means? Someone cashing up and it's not your mother. Not sure exactly what to take from that. Well, Daddy's home. The guy, Chief Trades One, at Chief Trades One, said that, and he's really positive on Cosmo and really positive on CEI. And his point that is that Cosmo's going up. I showed it just now. This guy, Chief Trades One, believes that Cosmo is going to have a short squeeze because of this distribution. And he says that CEI is set up for this. Both stories, I don't have any advantages in other than you, same as you, looking at it from the outside. These 3 or 4 stories I have advantages in, and logic. Why? Because I've known them for a long time. Not Wolf, but I know the investors. I've met the players. I've met the investors. And it's not so much, I can't have access to inside information, but I do get strong senses of what's going on. I can't tell you with CII like that. This is nothing to a squeeze when I had thousands of COSM shares. Oh, I know. Daddy's home. I don't know, Daddy, if I answered the whole question that you asked. I tried to, but I kind of forgot the whole thing. Yeah, Peter, they have a strategy. We don't know what it is. Monday morning, I'm sure they'll try to drive it down like they did this morning, and then they'll run it up. And maybe that's a good day trade Monday. That'd be my guess, is they'll try to get you to sell Monday, then they'll run it up, trying to get you to FOMO in. I think political officials like Maxine Waters, Gary Gensler, and I'm sure there's Republicans. I just don't want to be political. I think they should be held accountable. And I think the fact that money was funneled to the Ukraine so it could come back and be given as political donations in the United States is election fraud on a massive scale. And just because these people are well connected and mostly Caucasian doesn't mean they should avoid going to prison for a long time. The insider trading, yeah, that's easy to, Matt, that's easy to follow too. I think, look, both markets, I know, Angie, I just don't want to, my goal here is for you guys to make money and to be independent. If you're a Democrat, like I am, or a Republican, or an independent, and you're trading in the blindness that the other party is evil and your party isn't, that really puts you at a disadvantage at seeing what's happening in the trading markets. So there's an aspect of calling it as I see it. I haven't switched to the Republican Party. I can't quite bring myself to do that. But I have to say that as it relates to the financial markets, everyone from Bill Clinton onward in the Democratic Party at the highest levels has been corrupted by Wall Street. I can't think of a Democrat, including, I'm afraid, on the margin, on pressure, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, but they may be exceptions. Tulsi Gabbard has not been corrupted, but there's just so much money sloshing around. The Clinton Foundation raised $10 billion for Haiti, and read Daddy Cherry's a journalist out of Haiti. Read her work. She said the 10 billion never came to Haiti. Where is it? Well, what if that 10 billion is just sloshing around the corridors of Washington, buying influence from the FBI to SEC to Congress to Department of Justice? You just got to face the facts. Our financial systems have captured the government, and it's through massive money flows from the big banks. We rescued them with no questions asked. No overpaid wanker went to jail. None. Obama came in saying he was going to clean it up. Nobody went to jail. No, nobody. And unfortunately, Clinton's the one that signed that law that said that the markets could go in this weird theory that Rubin and others backed, that the desire for profits and not losses would be enough for the markets to self-regulate. Well, we're finding out how good that is. But it's both parties. You had Christopher Cox under George W. Bush. I guess that's the only other Republican this century. I think I think the only person, regardless of your opinion of him, regardless of however else you think he's corrupt, the only person that wasn't corrupted by Wall Street when he's in the high office was Donald Trump. Now, I think his son-in-law there's really questionable, and some of the other people, but I don't know. But my point is, these squeezes the squeeze at MMTLP was halted at FINRA. It was halted by an organization. One attorney is on the board of Goldman Sachs, and she's still there, or still is as high up on Goldman Sachs. Another attorney was like Mason's compliance officer. Another attorney went to UVA and Georgetown for the study of all this. They did nothing. They're captured. They're captured. And why is it captured? Because there's so much money that's sloshing around the system. And all of these people want the good jobs when they circle out of the government. They want their daughters to go to the best school. And they see their friends doing it. And so far, they haven't seen that it's hurt anybody yet. Because in their bubble, everyone's benefiting. They don't spend time out in Abilene, Texas. They don't spend time out in Gary, Indiana. So anyway, I think the government is going to do its best to stop these squeezes because that's best interest of Goldman Sachs. But you just saw today how quickly something can move and how quickly it can get out of control. I don't think they can put their finger in all the holes in the dike. Yeah, Mr. D81. I'm not going to read that out, but I approve. This message is approved by I sound MAGA. I think money went to rhinos. Yeah. I don't know. when I visited one of my best clients who I care about like a brother, when he got married, I was invited in Jordan. I went, and on the way, this a few years ago, I bought a bunch of MAGA hats to give away to all these Saudis. I figured I could bring a Washington, D.C. t-shirt, or I could bring a curiosity. What amazed me, I figured I'd give one or two away. The first time I brought one down, they all went in about 30 minutes. I had to go back to my room to get the rest of them, and everybody wanted one. MAGA means Make America Great Again. It doesn't mean go back to racism. It doesn't mean go back to screwing minorities. It doesn't mean any of the negatives that have been associated with it. So to be clear, I'm against racism. It's so trite to say. I'm against mistreating women. I'm against not giving everyone equal opportunity. I'm also against endless wars, idiotic wars like the Ukraine. Why are we in the Ukraine right now? We're having a ground war where there's 25 big nuclear reactors. Does that make any sense? It's in the breadbasket of the world, well, at least of Africa, Northern Africa, Middle East, and that part of the world. We're bombing, and we're sending weapons? What's the point? And we're risking World War III? There's rhinos, but that's not the Republican Party. I think it's Victoria Nuland, frankly. I think she's the most powerful person in the United States right now. Maybe Susan Rice. But no, I've never said I'm MAGA. But at the same time, and I do understand, I have a guy I work with doing real estate, and he asked me, he said, you know what that means to us? He's here locally. You know what that means to us? And he explained it, and I said, I see why you don't like it. Because it has all sorts of overtones about going back to a time either at or before civil rights. And I get that. If that's what the message is. Look, I'm a guy who went to school in the South. And I used to speak up against the Confederate flag. And I would get in trouble about that. But I saw that it offended people. Well, as I've gotten older, of course, I start to understand where I was wrong. I'll show you where I was wrong. But I mean, that's how I stand. I fight. I think if you have a symbol that you think means one thing, but it hurts other people, don't use that symbol. Don't use that symbol. So anyway, I didn't want to get off into politics because it's just fraught with danger as it relates to the financial markets, though. I think politics is there. I just think that's the case. But if you want to know, I voted for Jimmy Carter. I voted for Jesse Jackson in Virginia when he ran. I voted for Jimmy Carter. I voted for Bill Clinton twice. I voted for Dukakis. I voted for the other person that ran against Reagan. I guess it was Jimmy Carter. And I voted for Mike Dukakis. I then voted for Bill Clinton twice. And I saw him give his speeches here, went to Georgetown University, stood no further than 10, 15 feet away from him and looked up and watched with my date. And it was amazing, amazing speech. I wish I had recorded it. And then when G.W. Bush ran, I voted for Al Gore, and then I voted for John Kerry. And then I voted for Obama twice. I stood down at the Treasury watching his parade go by, and I'm not ashamed to admit that I started crying a little bit, a lot actually, for what it meant. But then when it came time to choose between one or the other, for the first time in my life, I voted Republican. And that's just a fact. I couldn't vote for corruption. And of course, that's controversial because you're going to say Trump is corrupt. And then this last time around, I couldn't vote for a man who was senile and for a man whose son had compromised national security. And so I couldn't vote for him. I would have voted in a heartbeat. Both times I would have voted for Tulsi Gabbard or someone like that. But anyway, I don't think that makes me MAGA in the sense of all the negatives that you imply. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know. But listen to this. Takes so long. Takes so long. Get to the point.
Thanks. Change I've seen is in the racial problem of the blacks. And some of it I regret very much. Quite the opposite of the Jews in the case of the Holocaust. The blacks seem not to want to be reminded of history, seem not to want to, in this Disney project that was announced, we will show you what it was like to be a slave. But when a great outcry went up, we don't want to see that kind of thing. Almost the opposite of the Jews having Holocaust museums and all kinds of things. I regret that. I think they ought to celebrate their past the same way the Jews did about bondage in Egypt. They're not ashamed of it. They say, we came out of it. We conquered it. And I wish there were more of that. The Civil War, there's a great compromise, as it's called. It consists of Southerners admitting freely that it's probably best that the Union wasn't divided. And the North admits rather freely that the South fought bravely for a cause in which it believed. And that is a great compromise, and we live with that, and that works for us. We are now able to look at the war with some coolness, which we couldn't do before now. And incidentally, I very much doubt whether a history such as mine could have been written much before 100 years had elapsed. It took all that time for things to cool down. When I was a grade school boy in Mississippi, I knew obscene doggerel about Abraham Lincoln, left over from my parents and grandparents. Yankees were despised. When one of them was so unfortunate as to move to Greenville, Mississippi, he was despised. All that stopped. All that's over now. And the great compromise obtains. And I wish my black friends could do the same thing. Illinois senator who didn't want the Daughters of the Confederacy in Richmond to have a Confederate symbol, not the battle flag, just a Confederate symbol on their stationery, got her fellow senators to disallow it. I do not understand that. That's a violation of the compromise, for example. And it's an arousal of bitterness. But she, along with a great many others, do not want to be reminded. She has every right to to want to hide from history if she wants to. But it seems to me she's trying to hide history from us, and that's a mistake.
I don't know. I don't like how he uses some of his words at all. But anyway, these issues are... yeah, I don't know. I just wish we had integrity, and I look forward to our next Democratic president, and I hope it's Tulsi Gabbard is who I hope. Okay, and so hey, David Lee, I'd love to, M. Casey. I hope we can all stay in touch after this changes. Anyway, I tried to explain myself a little bit, not to cause conflict on politics, just to say, as it relates to making money, it does matter who's in charge of the regulatory bodies. And I'm the first to admit that mostly Republicans just look all the other way, laissez-faire, you know, and that's not good either. So there's nothing much to say about GTI anymore. I can look at Twitter, see what's saying. There's not much more to say about GTII. I'll try to do a video, and I'll try to, say what I've said all day today about GTII. But my opinion about GTII is it's a screaming buy. It could have a little bit of a downside over the next couple of weeks. But I think there's so much good news coming. And the short position, 25 million. And if I'm wrong, whatever your number is, it's not going to be that much different. I still think GTII can have a sharp snapback to 175, twiddle around, and then maybe to 350 with fundamental news. But if it has a squeeze, I still think the high numbers could happen. Well, I hope history doesn't repeat itself. And I hope this country doesn't break down on superficial lines. We're all Americans, all of us. And I really think it's the elites, so to speak, that are hurting all of us, regardless of our different characteristics. And I think the only way to hurt the elites and protect ourselves, all of us, regardless of our characteristics, is to take money from the system in enough size that we're each independent, financially independent. What's that? You need to tell everyone, once NBH goes private, John and Gregory McCabe sell their shares in Emmett for $1,000 each and go public. It should jump on board. Everyone should jump on board. Yeah, I think what you're saying, if they go public, I think what you're saying, it would be a sensible investment at that time. Look, as an oil company, I wish I should do that. In a video. But here's a pretty good picture. Here's a pretty good picture. This is where oil comes from in Texas. You got the, I mean, it doesn't count over to the east, but you got the Midland Basin, you've got the Central Basin uplift, you got the Delaware Basin, and then the theory is this Oro Grande Basin is an analog to the Delaware and Midland. The geologist who came up with the theory of the Delaware Basin has come up with the theory of the Oro Grande. Now, it's Texas and New Mexico. But, and by the way, the private company that I'm going to get really deep into this weekend used to operate here for 30 years as a public company. The Koreans bought it and didn't do very well, so they're selling it, and the guy's gone back in with a new team to buy back. It's to me, it's the best thing. It's the best team to work with. But anyway, because of honesty and skill and knowledge. But anyway, this data here, if it applies here, is a massive new field discovery. Now, Torchlight only has a little small bit of this. And what makes it exciting, here, you guys all know this stuff. Early Permian, the early Permian. When the Midland Basin was formed, first not Gus Fliakos, anyway, there's an analyst who's now retired, and he used to come on the Squawk Box, and when he talked about oils, Fidel Gate, he'd say, first there were the dinosaurs. Well, first there were the dinosaurs, and you got the Midland Basin, here's the Central Basin uplift, and over here's the Oro Grande. It was all formed at the same time, way back when. So the argument goes, if this worked in the Midland and the Delaware, why not the Oro Grande? That was the original concept. And Torchlight went out to develop it. Now, there was the COVID, prices went down, everything you know. As far as I know, Torchlight's drilled 6 or 7 wells that have been successful. It's proved up this concept enough that John Berta can talk about 3.5 billion barrels of oil, 7 TCF of natural gas. So the point being that if these big guys come in and you don't even get in, but they take the company and it's fully funded, they can expand their operations all throughout the Oro Grande. They can become a major company. And it would make sense in my if they go public, that it would make a sensible investment. 931. There is an oil field bigger than the Oro Grande. A lot of them. A lot of them. Look, the GTII story, and I would have to say CRTD is closely aligned. The GTII story, I think, is where you're going to make money. But COSM is down. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing, Luciano? They get you down in the morning, maybe they buy, they run it up with you, get you in higher, don't let you sell, and then they sell it down. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's so stacked against. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So unfair. It's so Oh, you meant the Permian. Yeah, the Permian, of course, is massive. But the Permian, one of the big changes that happened in the Permian, you probably know it. And I met the Texas, you know, when George W. Bush was governor of Texas, he was the third most powerful politician. First most powerful is the commissioner of the Texas Railroad Commission. And that's oil. Well, anyway, I met that guy a couple of times, had dinner with him through an oil friend of mine. I forget his name now. It's moved on to somebody else. But what I learned and what happened, it used to be you drill in and they'd only let you produce from one zone. They changed the rules, so particularly for the Eagle Ford, and I guess that's the Buddha, either just off or just above, and then back behind the Eagle Ford, where it falls off, I forget the names of all those sands. I can almost remember them. But anyway, when you drilled them, they would allow you to drill down and produce all zones simultaneously. That changed oil in Texas, and that was part of our miracle. How long are we going to do nothing? I think people are doing. Is oil well involved with mineral specialists? I read that a website of Newbridge. I didn't read the website. I should do that, Christopher. But this Oro Grande could be big. I just caution you that when I was first examining it, there was a lot of skepticism by old-time other geologists out there. But remember, George Mitchell, he almost went bankrupt twice with an idea, which was to drill horizontally and frack wells. And he couldn't get it right. But one of his young scientists, one of his engineers, came up with an idea, and I think it involved water, but I can't remember. And it worked, and he revolutionized oil in the United States by the horizontal drilling and fracking. So just because the mainstream might say it's not a good idea, saying it's going to work, and the Oro Grande could be big. I think a lot of us are trying to do a lot, and I'm going to work hard this weekend following up fighting the shorts. I'll admit to you that after I get off of these lives, sometimes I'm drained. I'm not complaining in a positive way, but I find that in the nighttime I have very little left to do hard work. So on the weekend, I'll be able to get some of that done. That's exactly, you have to be with them. But I think you guys, because of you guys, I think they're never going to be able to put this genie in the bottle again. I don't think they're going to be able to hide this corruption ever again. I agree with you, Lion. Well, I hope our country, we have such a strong country, and we, all of us agree 95% of the time, and we should get back together, and all of us. What Shelby Foote said is that perspective from 100 years ago, 150 years ago now. But we all have to live in our own generations. But we have to be understanding about how other people came to their thought process, whether it was correct or not. But our choice is just to split our country apart or be together. And I happen to think we've got a pretty darn good country here. And one that can be fair for everybody. Well, I know. I hope we don't go to war. I hope we don't go to war. Hope we don't go to war. I really do. Well, our bus, our Busto, our bus, I think war internationally is very possible. I don't think if the BRICS get traction, I don't think the United States is going to allow it to happen without war. They might reset things too. That's why I'd love one of these squeezes to work for you guys so you can get prepared for a reset. You know, they might have $2. There might be $1 for domestic use, and they might have an international dollar. This has gone on too long, Sun Devil. I couldn't agree more. I mean, you should see, you should feel how inside my head is pounding. That's a good question, Pete Tong. If you know how to do it, I'd set it up. But in the gray market, here's what's going to happen. They're going to say, well, buy your shares for X, and you're going to say, I want X. Say, okay. Then they're going to ask for your signature, and you're not going to be able to disclose what you received without losing the payout. And they get your shares. So in the one sense, the website won't work. But where it might work is beforehand, before you accept an offer, you can discuss it. Oh, no, that's a good idea. Pete Tong, that's not a bad idea. We could create our own website for our own gray market is basically what you're saying. That's not a bad idea. I think MMTLP is okay. What's wrong? What's the sick, sour feeling line? About what? I gotta look up what you said. I'm not going to back down from the fight. I don't know. Pete Tong, I'm too tired right now to do it with everyone now, but I think it's a great idea if people could help you. I'm sure in the MMTLP broad constituency, there'd be a lot of help for an idea like that. And Wall Street would be frightened of that. Since it's a gray market anyway, why don't we just go out and do our own gray market? I love that idea. The Marine on YouTube, everybody together on 128, Amy, I like the Marine. And I didn't know that, but I'd get together. Oh, from not being able to sell. It's horrible. How could they take it from 280 all the way to 22 without allowing you to sell or trade it? Well, I guess you could buy in. I guess you were allowed to do that. Oh, you're in IT. All right. Well, I'm willing to help, Pete Tong. Well, MMTLP, I'm not going to bore everyone again, but I don't think MMTLP, the final chapter, has been written by a long shot. But Cosmos, I just really don't know what to say. I just find it way too risky. We'll do that. We'll join the march. We'll join the march. Yeah, Ant Card, apparently people couldn't sell. I sold my 4 shares at $5.68 or something. I did it, so I could do it. Oh, I see, Sun Devil. Sit and do nothing. What happens if there's no selling with other stocks that skyrocket? Let me just think that through quickly. I think you're going to find, I'm on E-Trade. I think you're going to find out that, although you're going to say BS to it, but they're going to say we had to change the QSIP and the name, and it took us a day to do it, and a weekend. The chief trader trades one says it's going to cause a short squeeze, and then CEI it is as well, and maybe so. I reckon so, but I don't know. But I think you're going to find it was a normal reason for that delay, and I think Monday it's going to trade. That I'm talking about COSM. But in GTII and CRTD, I don't think they're going to stop trading while it goes up. I don't think they'll be able to, because it's neither company is going to do a reverse split. Neither company is going to issue itself into a private company. So these two unique scenarios, one with MMTLP and one with COSM, are not going to happen with GTII and CRTD. Well, yeah, what isn't risky? And M. Casey and Pete Tong, you know, I still have to get back to all these direct messages. I tried last night, but I will admit I just ran out of energy. I'll try to do it over the weekend. Well, yeah, that's something they do now. Ellie, it looks like that guy, Chief Trades, thinks that CEI is going to have the same experience next week when they do the reverse split. I don't know. I don't know. To answer the question, I don't know. But maybe next time we get on, we'll talk about those two, and I'll try to gather the information from Chief Trades and elsewhere. Oh, the shares weren't delivered. Wow. You bought at 73 and sold at 18? Or you bought at 73 pre-split. Oh, Philip. Yeah, CGRA is the stock that I have to find information on. And I've made the phone calls. I haven't had time today to follow up. GTII, where it is. Oh. GTII is next up for upstream, probably next week, just like CRTD today. They're next up for a distribution from upstream of a coupon as a digital token, or at least a warrant as a dividend. They're going to try to do eventually soon a Picasso as a dividend. They've got $3 million in the bank. The audit is supposed to be finished by the end of the year, 2 weeks. I bet it's next week. The audit finishes. All of a sudden, they are a law firm that has $100 million in revenue, $35 million in income. There's a potential from out of the blue that they become a lithium mining company. They have several subsidiaries that are all distributed as spin-offs in the digital space, just like CRTD just announced today that they're going to distribute their OD collection. GTII has West Christian working to find the time and sales of the criminals. GTII hired ShareIntel that is they found information on the market makers and the criminals. there's tax loss selling potential for the rest of the year. It feels like there was a short attack, but it feels like it's over. But it could come back by the end of the year. But those shorts are likely wanting to cover so they can book their profits, so-called profits, so they can get paid. Criminals got to get paid just like honest people. So what's up next for GTII? I think next week, there could be 2 announcements next week. And I'm making it up, the timing. I'm making the timing up. But I think it could happen next week. Audit's finished, and the law firm is now part of the company. And then secondly, upstream, they announce a digital token, which is like a coupon from the law firm that cannot be delivered. It's outside of the U.S. system. So I think it could get interesting really quickly in GTII. That's my answer. I do need a rest. I think I need to go jump off a cliff. I think I need to go take a long walk off a short pier. I think I need to, what else could I do? Get a massage with a happy beginning. Good night, Chloe Harris. No, don't. TD doesn't want to open their books. TD does not want to open their books. I'm in for the jump. Yeah, Morty. All right, guys, I got to go walk the dog because he's anxious. 3 more minutes, 2.5 more minutes. It'll be 6:30. And elbow cough. Walk the plank. You guys are all welcome. I just wish we had an honest... I was talking with a friend the other day. He's about my age or vice versa. And he just said, what happened? We used to be able to rely on everybody. There's integrity everywhere. There was honesty everywhere. I just wish there were. And I don't care which side of the political aisle. I'll give him a big hug. Wait a minute. You bought today in the morning for 73 cents? This morning? Oh my gosh, and you sold it for 8. Michael Payne, congratulations. Congratulations, Michael Payne. Congratulations. You give us hope. I wouldn't mind. I sent him a whatever that's called. I don't think I heard back, but I like Uncle Smokey, and I like the bird lady pigeon roller, and I like a couple of the others, Yonkers and Tony Twits. I would love to get on and talk with them. I think they have much more to say than I do, so I'm not sure why they would have me on, but I'm more than willing to do it. Matt, he made a lot of money. He made a lot of money. You got to say Michael Payne is your hero. Michael Payne feels no pain. He's never heard that joke before. He's never heard that joke before. You want to go, Lucky? Bring the pain. There you go, Morty. There you go. All right, so I guess Eric Everett made a good trade. I have a lot of insight. Yo, no. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, Anyway, you're a good boy. we won't talk about. I know Michael Payne made his winnings, and maybe he'll have a good Christmas, or maybe he'll put it all on red 32. I know it's just it just all right, guys. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for having tolerance for my attempt to explain a little bit of politics. I respect all of you, and am always willing to be convinced that my ideas are wrong, but it doesn't change who we are to have ideas that we differ on. Oh, wow, RW, anyone that sells gets it reversed? Man. Get to Z Chopper. Thanks, Max. How do you do it? You go like this? What's Valor Asset Management? That's really interesting. Is that a big deal, Christopher Pop? Valor Asset Management. Let me write that down. So he might know what he's talking about. I need a girl about 5'6", ain't into glamour, just into kicks. Working on the night moves. She had points of her own, way up high and firm, way up high and firm. Yeah. Can I use a bad word? Right now, Wall Street is a shit show. And on that, I think we can agree. Moon River. Moon River. Susan Howard, all right. Moon. Chevy Chase used to be funny. Anyway, all right. If you could see his face right now, his ears are up. He's looking at me. He's such a good boy. So I'm going to go take him around so he can go flirt with the hardware store, the liquor store, and yeah, looks so far like in many ways that Lou called some good trades. I have to say, I agree with you. It might have happened anyway. I just wish GTI hadn't been crushed. But we are where we are. And Monday is a new day. All right, we'll go, Lucky. A gilf. How about a gamilf? A grandmother. How about yeah, he needs his P-mail. He needs to, all right, I'm going to listen to Matt. He needs to read the sports section that's laid out before him around the neighborhood. All the news from the other dogs. All right, guys, I'm going to go. Peace, love, and happiness. And, you know, cheers. Cheers. And I'm going to stop reading everything. Bree X. Uh-oh, they're going to take a dive out of a helicopter? Anyway, all right, I got to go.